Gary, and William. Out here in the yard again. Arms half off, still reaching with the dead end argument. You said close Canon before Jesus, like that settled every line. But the book was still in motion when the scrolls were being signed. Ay, ay. Maccabees on the table, you pretended never spoke. Council talk, Jeremiah talk, same old ash and same old smoke. Law prophets writing stack, you keep tearing at the seams. But the shelf was built with borders, not with wishful hollow dreams. They got refuted, still they wrong. You nailed the lids down, they came home. But every claim you thought was done gets up again, then drags along. Zombie arguments that won't stay buried. Buried. Zombie arguments still walking petty. David, Gary, and William. Say it again. David, Gary, and William. Down they go. Amen. Cardinal Cajetan, Simenes, Gregory, Luther, Calvin too. Every name you call for backup got a different thing in view. Scholarly tradition followed Jerome, then you twisted into law. Yes, self-attestation, Holy Spirit, you keep quoting from the jar. Great synagogue of Ezra, you build a house on sand and dust. Every time you lock the question, it comes rattling back in rust. I don't need a fresh illusion, I can see the stitches plain. What you bury keeps on breathing, wearing yesterday's chain. Dig deeper, hear that moan. No claims crawl back to bone. Seal the pit, mark the stone. Still they rise, not on their own. Zombie arguments, they won't stay buried. Yeah. Zombie arguments, still walking petty. David, Gary, and William. Say it again. David, Gary, and William. Down they go. Amen. Then.
And we are live, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. We're going to talk about a tremendous debate that happened today. But before we do that, let's go around the table. Gentlemen and Ari, how is everybody doing? Let's go with AB first. Brother, how you been, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Everything's been good. Feel good about the debate, and I'm just happy to talk about it with you gentlemen. I'm
happy to be here with you. Yeah, man. How you doing? Gary, how you been, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing great. Just recovering from the debate, but doing well.
That was fun, man. You stayed up way past your bedtime, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was a really interesting debate, to say the least. I was cheering on AB. AB did a magnificent job. And of course, it's just always fun to hang out with you guys. So
that was a blast. Total blast. And we were missing a little part of the team, but he was tucked into his bed, resting that night. Dr. David, my friend, how you been? And what are your initial thoughts on the debate?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I think AB totally nailed it. So there's not really too much to add to that.
Yeah, and we have the moderator of the debate here. Ari, how was it? Was that fun? What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
That was like a roller coaster. That's all I can say. That was a roller coaster. Whether it was a good one or a bad one, it's like one of those where you get really, really high and it goes, and then it goes really high again. No sharp turns. Yeah, that's how I felt.
Well, that does make sense. You're there in the moderator's seat. It's always much more difficult. But we just get to hang out and we got to enjoy it and we had a great time. That was fun, wasn't it, Gary? That was a blast. And then afterwards, we got to hang out with Ari and AB. They joined us in Hollywood Big Boss. So shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to TJ. TJ, God bless you, my friend. Thank you for your support. I love this one, man. I love how Christie gave a long list of accolades Then there's AB, a rookie debating, if I may add. A guy who's never debated and loves the faith, yet he proceeded to pulverize him. He did. And there was nothing new under the sun from Christie. Backstage, Gary and myself were talking. In fact, I think even David, a few days before that, when we'd get together, talk about it, we were thinking, will there be anything new that he brings up? And we thought, well, if there's anything new, it's not going to be good. Whatever he's going to bring up, it'll be bad. But we were thinking maybe there'll be something new. There's nothing there, and how appropriate that opening of the zombie arguments. It was everything the same, and maybe even presented even worse. Gary, what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, the same thing. Like I figured, if there's going to be new arguments, there's nothing you could prepare for anyway, because it's going to be some weird angle. I think that pretty much came true. But, a lot of our predictions, that William, again, beforehand, we called it out, and sure enough, It was served on the table. Zombie arguments. You're right.
100% zombie arguments. Same old, nothing new under the sun. And Daniel, brother, God bless you. Thank you for your support. We heard you behind the scenes. We decided we're going to go over the questions at the end. It'd be too much to go over every single thing in the debate. And I guess if we go, by the way, audience, I have not seen any of the questions. This will be completely new to me. Gary, I don't know if you've seen any of them. No. So the only ones that know the questions are Ari, AB, and David. Have you seen them?
Maybe a few, but I don't recall which one those were.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be fun. I imagine. I mean, it'll connect with everything that we saw during the debate. So, I mean, how about we go there? We dive into the questions. That'll be fun. And Avoid History says, can I have some money for a Steve Christie help fund? I don't get it. Well, I mean, I guess sort of. It's
a dig at Steve. It's a dig at Steve, bro.
Oh, I know that, but I mean, usually Avoid History has inside jokes with Gary.
Yeah. Hey, William, we have no idea how he thought about what he thought about the debate.
Who's that? AB?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry, AB. Give us the breakdown, brother. Take your time. Go ahead.
So what I thought about the debate overall, I think it went pretty well. It was my first debate, and when you're in the hot seat, it's not like when you're home and you're preparing for it, and you have all the information in your head, you're able to recall it. So that was a little bit of a different experience. But there were so many things that that I anticipated, just as was said, that just very easy to dispense with. And then there were some questions that were a little cryptic, and they really didn't connect with the topic at all. Naming sources that I'm not familiar with, especially the claims that those sources made. And it just sounded like a lot of those questions during their cross-ex were more like gotcha questions, as opposed to probing questions. But as far as my opening went, I think I did pretty well anticipating. I got to thank the team for helping mentor me
all the time.
So I think overall it went really well. And I look forward to doing a lot more and improving from here.
And to add to that point, that is a good point. And this is the one thing that I've said all the time. Whenever you're debating anybody and they bring up scholarship, look, at the end of the day, it can become an argument of my scholar can beat your scholar up. In other words, you can quote every scholar under the sun. It doesn't matter. Scholars don't walk on water. They make mistakes. And they make mistakes and they can revise them. Dr. McDonald has admitted to doing so. So with that in mind, the issue during a debate is, I don't care what your scholar says. Give me the evidence. Give me the first-hand evidence. And Christie could have quoted 100 scholars and you could have said, I don't agree with any of them. And I can erect 100 of my own and you wouldn't agree with them. Ultimately, the argument is, show me the evidence, first-hand testimony, not what this individual or that individual said. Give me the evidence. He had absolutely nothing. It was embarrassing. He had nothing at all. In fact, I'd say, one thing that Christie told me, he told me about a year ago, or a year and a half ago, he told me, William, give me time. I'm going to get better as I go on debating. Steve, I got to be honest with you, you've gotten worse over time. You've gotten worse. Go ahead, Gary or David or Ari or Avi. Any thoughts before we dive into the questions, man?
So the question is, did he get worse?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah. David, you look like you look like you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, so I found a few interesting moments in the debate. So one, what really was strange to me, and it was in his rebuttal period, he started with, the question is not what books are in the canon of this settled Jewish, of this settled Jewish canon. We're not debating whether Ecclesiastes or Song of Songs are there or not. It's irrelevant, I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't know if he understood the whole, parameters and the topic. If you say that there was a settled Jewish canon,
right,
a pre-Christian Jewish canon, settled, that means no one's gonna take out anything, no one's gonna add anything. It's settled, it's closed, finished.
Yeah.
If you say, well, we're not debating whether Ecclesiastic or Song of Songs should, was there or was not there before the time of Christ, then you just conceded the debate. Because
that might have been why Ari had to turn her camera off. I could have been. Go ahead, Amy.
I agree. And some of the questions, you could see that he was thinking from that frame of reference. So when he said that did Jesus fulfill, all of the scriptures? So I'm thinking to myself, do you mean Baruch 3? I mean, because to me, he fulfilled Baruch 3. To you, you don't see that as scripture. So it's really not, you're not asking a question in a precise way where I could really answer it. I don't know if that.
Yeah. I don't think gotcha questions get to the heart of a debate.
No.
I think people should really try to engage, not try to do gotcha, catchy questions, because when your interlocutor knows the material, a gotcha question's not going to work. It just isn't going to work. Maybe against somebody that's just jumping into a debate and doesn't know the material, maybe a gotcha question might work. But if you know the material, you realize that they're pretty bad. These gotcha questions.
Yeah, and when I asked him about Ruth and
Judges.
Ruth usually does go with Judges, so
Right.
I know that. But we said Ruth and what was it? The Psalms, right? And then it was.
He said it's a prelude.
Prelude. So I said, does that mean they were once combined? And he said it's possible, but if we look at for example on Weights and Measures section 4, you'll see that Ruth was with Judges. So I don't know where that came from. So I was sort of like scratching my head a little bit. So
I don't blame you.
And they were basically again, the parameters are settled canon. Again, you cannot take out anything, cannot add anything. It's settled. Okay. But that requires a list, because otherwise you don't know, whether was there something added or wasn't.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole kind of justification was basically equivocation, saying, well, you got the law and the prophets, so it's settled. Well, or something like that. Well, it's like you look at church fathers lists, and of course we do not limit our cases to lists alone, but also to usage. But when you look at just the lists, when you can make the same equivocation with the church fathers, you can say, well, the Christians had an Old Testament and New Testament, but when you look at the list, they're different.
Right.
So how does, just categories tell you anything about being a settled, fixed, canon? It doesn't, right?
At all. No. Total mess.
You have to presuppose everything, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yep. All right, you guys, what's up? What do you think? You think we should start diving into the questions?
Yeah, sure. No, there was a couple of haymakers you made, AB. That
Oh yeah.
He like that 2 Ezekiel
He didn't want to engage
Fun.
with that, which tells me everything. Yeah, he wasn't
Cool.
able to.
Make of
To be
that.
clear. Yeah.
Well, there was a few things that he didn't know what to make of it, but you did really good. You kept his feet to the fire, and you kept it focused, and that was your main task because you got truth on your side.
Amen.
All you have to do is just make sure he doesn't run off into rabbit trails, which he tends to do.
Thank you. Yes, and that was another challenge I had was, for example, when he would go off a little bit, I I had the urge to follow him there and attack that point, but I knew I couldn't because I wouldn't make my point. So
Right.
Yeah.
that was difficult to just sort of keep myself grounded. So
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, if you want to, there you go.
If I can have just another comment.
Go ahead, brother. Go for it.
You have to be very careful, when you're listening to the debate, whether Steve is not making double standards. For example, AB brought up the Ben Sira scroll from Qumran. And AB said, Steve said, well, it's irrelevant because, like McDonald said, it's first century AD. Who cares? That's too late for our parameters. It has to be pre-Christian. Well, first thing, that scroll is pre-Christian. It was composed in the first century BC.
Right.
You can find it in Emmanuel To's book if you want. The second thing, if really, we should just stick to pre-Christian sources, then why did he bring up Cairo Geniza? And well, for that matter, Josephus is irrelevant then, because that's first century AD, and you can go, and even the New Testament is first century AD, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about pre-Christian canon, if I'm going with Steve's standards. And then there are the very typical kind of Steve things, is misquotations. So, and I'm not being mean here, I'm just really addressing facts, because, for example, AB, you brought up Shammai and Hillel, right?
yes,
That they had these disputations regarding Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs, and he quoted the New Advent website, and he said that well, these were only theoretical difficulties. Yes, and he says, well, I cannot quote him like word for word, but he says, like, quote, these books, and also Book of Proverbs, which had been entertained by ancient rabbis who belonged to the school of Shammai, reappeared in the Jewish Assembly of Germany, but these were only theoretical difficulties. Guys, the whole New Advent article here is not about Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs. It's about Proverbs.
Yeah.
It says,
Right.
it is true that certain doubts as the inspiration of the book of Proverbs.
Yep. The book of Proverbs. Yep.
Yeah. We don't argue that Proverbs was not accepted by Shammai. We never made that point. And AB didn't make that point.
Yep.
We are talking about Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs. But Steve, if you listen to it carefully, he quoted it as if it also includes like Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs on that New Advent page, but it doesn't. It specifically addresses only Proverbs. So it tries to, muggle inside these other books that these were also just theoretical difficulties. No, the article says it's only about Proverbs that were theoretical difficulties. So again, as I said, I'm not being mean here. Go and read the article and compare it with what Steve said, and that's it.
Now you're being honest. You find that I noticed the one thing, and I pointed it out during the debate review. It's very hard to not notice and very hard to not call it out that it seems that at times when he's cornered, he just lies. He's got to know better on a lot of these issues. There's no doubt to me he has to know better. My only guess is that you can tell he gets very nervous, and you can tell he starts to just freak out. Like, I've been debating for 2 decades. I can read people very easily. Steve begins to freak out during cross-examination. You can hear the panic in his voice, and usually he'll just lie. He'll lie. He'll flat out lie. And we saw that multiple times during the debate. Well, if you don't know the material and you can't deal with the material, just be honest about it. And be honest about it. At one point, I think AB was honest, said, I haven't read that particular source, but it didn't matter the particular topic of the debate. Steve will just lie. Steve doesn't care. He'll just flat out lie. So I appreciated that from AB. AB was very honest, held his feet to the fire. If there was something, a particular source that he hadn't read, AB would be honest about it. Steve doesn't have that ability to be honest. He'll just lie. And I'm glad that David is pointing it out, that you need to be careful, pay attention, because he's not in this to be honest. He's already admitted it when he debated Gary, that honesty that's not on the platter for him. There's nothing that can change his mind on this issue. What his goal is really is just to defend Protestantism, as much as he can. And to me, it seems like he'll defend it to the nail, even if it means lying over and over and over. He lied about Dr. David. So, I mean, go ahead.
Yes, I would just wanted to say, when he said, "Oh, this is a David Cesar's argument," I thought he was talking about mine. So I said, "You're right. He endorses this argument," but he was talking about his. So
Yeah.
I had no idea. I never connected his argumentation to Dr. David because it's simply wrong. So,
Yeah.
so
Lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went full Christie on the debate. Yeah, in fact, I don't know if you watched the earlier part of the watch party, AB or Ari, but we actually stopped and I looked up the article cited from McDonald.
Yeah.
And we read it, and it said the exact opposite of what he was saying. It said,
The exact opposite. I believe we even read it on the air. We pointed it out.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like with him, I mean, if he ever cites a quote or questions on a quote, I would say I'm refusing to answer it because you just don't respect your sources.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you need to do this, you already know you lost. Because I mean, why would you do that, right?
100%. 100%. All right, guys, you want to dive into the Q&A?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Let's see here. Okay. So I think I have it queued right.
Please stay on topic. Yeah. All right. So let's do this then. So start off with the very first one that we got. This one is from Brandon. So this is for AB. It says, AB, how do you explain the fact that the Catechism of the Catholic Church affirms Luke 24:44 talks about the threefold Hebrew Bible? So and then he's quoting you the Catechism. So AB, you got time to respond to it.
So let me know when you want me to pause.
Let's pause here.
Okay.
Well, this is one of those times where I was honest. I didn't, I don't have that passage memorized. So I think I did say that. And I said, I'm willing to learn. What does it say? So.
What on earth? Catechism of the Catholic Church 704?
By the way, that was a typo. Later on, we found out it was a typo.
Oh, okay.
It's I think it was 702. I'm not positive.
Oh, thank you for that. Okay.
Later on, we said that it was wrong.
Okay, so it's he meant 702 then.
I think so. Yeah, but because I know during the debate we said that was poorly cited. That wasn't the right one. Okay,
if you guys want, we can go. We should go into this one. I think this one's important, guys. I don't know. I got 702 open. Let me go ahead and read it, and whoever wants to dive in, let me know. You guys, whatever you want to chime in. Just by reading it, I can already see. Now, number one, I like Brandengelo. I like the guy, but I think the guy, look, with all due respect, he's delusional. When it comes to the canon, he has no clue what he's talking about. I mean, he's come up in dialogue with us before, and he's gotten. If annihilationism was a reality, he would be part of that. He got annihilated. But this is another bad argument. Catechism 702 says, from the beginning until the fullness of time, the joint mission of the Father's word and spirit remained hidden, but it was at work. God's spirit prepared for the time of the Messiah. Neither was fully revealed, but both were already promised to be watched for and welcomed at their manifestation. So for this reason, when the church reads the Old Testament, she searches there for what the Spirit, who has spoken to the prophets, wants to tell us about Christ. What on earth are you talking about? What's he talking about here? I mean, Brandengelo, I can only imagine, since it was in the evening, he had some really, really good tequila there that he smashed. That was some really good. Not only was that good tequila, that was spiked tequila with serpent venom, because he was hallucinating too. There's just nothing you can gather here. You can't even. I don't even know how you would formulate a question like that. I mean, I'll refute it, guys. You guys can hop on, but I mean, it's illogical. By prophets, you can see it comes in the key. That's the key to the text. By the prophets, the faith of the church here understands all whom the Holy Spirit inspired in the living proclamation, in the composition of the sacred books, both of the Old and the New Testament. Where do you gather that prophets is being used in the Jewish canonical division? Where do you gather that? Or where do you have a threefold canon? Where do you have this threefold division in the Catechism 702? That corresponds to the Protestant 39 book Old Testament. Where do you get that? It doesn't even give you a list of books here. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, I know where to go in the Catechism, where the Catechism shows you what the Old Testament canon is, and that's about 600 sections earlier in the Catechism of the Catholic Church 120. But I have no clue what he's doing here, other than maybe I'll give my thoughts, and David, AB, Gary, or Ari can chime in. Other than I'm just imagining here, the argument from what I can gather, I'm trying to steelman it. You guys, Gary, you tell me what you think. I am guessing that he is equivocating on prophets here. When it says prophets, this is the only thing that I can, trying to give him grace. I'm guessing that he's equivocating on prophets here, and trying to say this is an inspired biblical witness, and that this is the closed three-part Protestant matching canon. Other than that, I've got no clue what he's even trying to say. Go ahead, guys.
I see he is probably looking at the footnote here. Unfortunately, the footnotes don't give you all of the details to break this down into a threefold division. Because if you're going to say that, you're going to have to tell me that wisdom and Psalms are divisions. So if you look at footnote 62, that's the only place you see Luke 24:44, and you still have no canon, and you don't have a threefold canon there either. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
Gary, David, any thoughts?
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I mean, first, if you go to the passage Luke 24:44, because Steve was making that argument that all the prophets, he's talking about all the prophets. Yes, all the prophets concerning Christ. Like, not all prophecies are about Christ. I mean, let's just be honest. Okay, some prophecies are about some future events, even before Christ, and so on. Not all prophets and not all prophetical books are necessarily about the coming of the Messiah. So Christ is clearly talking about those all prophets, which are talking about the Messiah. And that's why Luke 24:44. And in fact, the context of the whole catechism is the same thing, because it says, from the beginning until the fullness of time, and so on and so forth, wants to tell us about Christ. That's how it ends, Catechism 702 wants to tell us about Christ. So you need to focus on the context, because if you ignore the context, yes, you are getting it wrong. Sorry. But if you respect the context, you are getting it right. And the footnote says, by prophets, the faith of the church here understands all whom the Holy Spirit inspired in living proclamation and composition of the sacred books, both the Old Testament and New Testament. Jewish tradition distinguishes first the law, then the prophets, and finally the writings, especially the wisdom literature, in particular the Psalms. And then it gives the footnote, Luke 24:44. Right? But the whole context is Christ, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see. I just don't see this. So I guess I don't have any comments.
Yeah. And there's nothing there.
No. Yep.
So Brandangelo is here. I don't know if he wants some clarification or not.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's,
Yeah, Brandangelo, I gotta hand it to you. That I gotta really give it to you, man. I love you, Brandangelo, and I really have to hand it to you. You probably won the award of the worst question of the evening. That's probably one of the worst I've ever in my life ever seen. So I mean, if I had a golden trophy to give out, I'd be giving it to you. But I don't have a golden trophy to give out. But I mean, he can clarify. You know, maybe there's some kind of a hidden clarification there. I don't know. Maybe he's got a secret catechism edition that none of us have ever seen. I mean, maybe there's a secret catechism edition none of us are aware of, and I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Go ahead, guys.
So do you want me to continue or next question?
Let's give a shout out to the Real Wave. God bless you, the Real Wave. He says, I don't know if this has been said before, but I've discovered that AB has the same voice as Joe Pesci. It's like listening to him in Goodfellas, Casino, or some of those gangster movies, man. AB's a bad boy. I like that, man.
I feel like AB could be like he could be like a mafia boss.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, he has the. I think you have the Italian voice for it.
Like a mafioso. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that, man.
But I don't think his wife would approve or his baby, so maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, let's do it.
Oh man.
Okay, here's the next question.
Lord have mercy.
No. I think Jesus referenced whoever. Jesus has a lot more insight than he's the second person of the Trinity, so it depends on who he was talking to. I think he would know what the other person, or his audience what his audience received as divine literature.
Okay. Steve, anything to comment on that one?
Yes, he did, because when Jesus referred to, he was rebuking the Pharisees for their ancestors that had killed all of the prophets from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah. Father Mitch Pocker from EWTN, who's a biblical scholar, said that Jesus is affirming what the Pharisees accepted, and the Protestants accept the Pharisaic canon of Scripture. And the reason why this is significant is because you have to figure out who this Zechariah is, and that's why I said early manuscripts don't even include this extension, the son of Berechiah, which is the reason why Jerome, and even as early as the 2nd century AD, affirmed this was referring to the son of Jehoiada. So, and the reason why I had mentioned that there's two options is because we don't have the original of Matthew, but because Luke said he's getting his information from other people, he doesn't mention the son of Berechiah, and he's likely getting his information from Matthew, who is the first gospel writer. So yeah, he is affirming it, and if it's not, then you got to figure out who Zechariah is, since EWTN affirmed that John the Baptist, not Zechariah, was the last martyred prophet. So he's talking canonically, not chronologically.
Okay, we got to hit pause. Well, it's a good thing that the good doctor didn't hear that. I think he probably would have drank himself into a stupor.
Oh my goodness.
Luke 24. So this is Matthew.
Luke 24 is
Matthew 23.
Is a zombie argument that is one of the lowest level that you're ever going to encounter. You know what I appreciate? I'll say this very briefly, and then I'll let you guys comment. I appreciate that during our, and this is the difference between a Christie and a Turretin fan and a Chapa. A Turretin fan and a Chapa are miles ahead of Christie. They're not even in the same league. It's like Christie is playing T-ball, and these guys are playing in a different league. When they pressed me and David on Luke 24, and I appreciated this, and I asked them if any of the early fathers read it the way they were presenting it. They were honest to admit that there were none. There are none. There are none. They were at least that honest. I don't think Christie has an honest bone in his body to where he could admit that. I just don't. Go ahead, guys.
Here's a question for you guys. Were all the prophets killed?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, because he's very diligently emphasizing all the prophets. Yes. And who are those all the prophets? What happened to them? Well, the blood was shed, right?
Of course.
So what about those prophets which were not killed. Should
Mhm.
we exclude them, or what's the point of
Yep.
all the prophets?
That's a great point. Go ahead, Ari. You were gonna ask a question.
Yeah, I do want to ask. Do you guys think that he's doing it on purpose? Because I'm thinking. I was thinking this the entire debate. Because I went back and I rewatched this, and I was like, I wonder if he really, truly, truly is just being dishonest, or number one, or number two, he's just so convinced. He's so convinced that that is the actual interpretation, that he really he's so convinced of it that he really thinks that this is it, like this is actually legit. Because I don't know. It's hard to tell if he's actually being dishonest and actually wants to deceive people, or whether he's actually truly convinced of his position and he's very convinced that this actually favors him. And not just in this debate, but in many other debates as well.
Yeah, I really honestly don't know what to say.
Cause,
You guys,
cause
what do you all think?
Because I think we can all kind of I think maybe assume, but and I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna talk bad about him because I don't I have nothing against the guy, and he's actually been very. I always said he's been very kind to me, so I have nothing negative to say about him. But I do wonder if people like him, people like him and many others, if this is actually intentional.
Yeah.
Or if they're really just genuinely convinced, they're really just genuinely be like, you know what, this is it,
You're gonna look at Luke 24. Yeah, I mean that's is that do you want me to bring that up, Gary, or do I take that down?
No, I got it. It's Luke.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he mentioned that the son of Berechiah is not part of that it's missing in manuscripts. So I'm trying to find where it's missing in manuscripts because
It's just Sinaiticus. That's all you will find. It's
Yeah.
not
Oh, yeah.
manuscripts.
yeah, let's show the people. Okay,
And
first,
to Ari's point there, when he regurgitates, well, let me correct that. He doesn't always regurgitate everything. When he comes up with some of these arguments, I'm gonna have to say, man, I wish I could give Ari a straight up answer. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I think he's dishonest. I think he knows he's dishonest. I think the only question I can't truly answer Ari on, I know he's dishonest, and I'm sure he knows he's dishonest. I don't know if he's maybe he's convinced himself in his own mind. I don't know.
Because there are people that will convince themselves of what they
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
And so I really do wonder if maybe, I mean, I would love to give him the benefit of a doubt because I'm not trying to be a meanie, and say maybe he really is just genuinely convinced of his position. But then I look back and I think okay, you debated apologists like Trent Horn as well, and debated literally Gary, and you would think that his position, maybe he would have went back, maybe looked at the sources, and maybe hey, maybe
worse.
these guys, maybe these guys have a point in some of the things that they're saying.
He's gotten worse, and that's a good point. He's gotten worse over time. So
I don't know.
This is also something I already dispelled earlier in the debate, so I'm not sure, why he decided to double down on that.
Yeah. Well, Father Pacwa said so it has to be true. And William pointed out that in an interview, Pacwa said that he was mistaken. It was a live question.
Of course, and Pacwa's noted that multiple times already. My goodness, man.
Yeah, real quick. This is the NA28 in the middle here. And here is blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah. As you can tell, there's no brackets. So that is the preferred reading. There's nothing ambiguous about it. Now in the lower right-hand column, we have the critical apparatus for the NA28. Notice here's 24. See all these variants? 35, Sinaiticus.
Yeah, that's the only one.
It. And then you have all the rest. Okay, so, I mean, it's not even, if you go to the textual commentaries I have, there's not even an entry for 35, as you can see. It just skips from 26 to 38. So, so much for this being, it's, it's real dubious and it was added and blah, blah, blah. Oops.
My goodness, you have Tatian's the Diatessaron in the 2nd century saying the son of Berechiah. You got Irenaeus
Right.
in the 2nd century saying son of Berechiah. But no, we have to go with 4th century Sinaiticus variant, because that might be the case. And that's the only exception.
Yeah.
By the way, James Snap commented on that. He's got a blog, I think.
Oh, did he? Where is he?
Yeah. That he wrote that.
Oh, I thought you meant right now.
No. I mean, on his
Generally.
blog, he
Yeah.
commented on this missing piece in Sinaiticus, and he said the copyist just deliberately did not mention it because he was perplexed, like,
Right.
why Berechiah, but that's it.
Sure.
There's no other explanation. There's no like textual tradition, manuscript tradition, nothing. It's just Sinaiticus.
Yeah. So
Another
But,
bad
I mean,
argument.
yeah, it is what it is. And
Yeah. Guess I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Okay, you got the video. There we go. Yeah.
You know what? I'll allow it, but I'll allow you to. I'll let you have the last word, Steve.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? Yeah.
Sure.
No, I said
right.
even Steve said we don't know what it is. So I would like to see what EWN was affirming.
I'm sorry?
I would like, even Steve said that we don't know, so I would like to see what they were affirming.
Okay, well, this is a quotation from EWTN. John the Baptist, beheaded by Herod for publicly accusing him of adultery, is often considered to be the last of the Old Testament prophets. This is why Jesus isn't talking chronologically the prophets that were martyred, because chronologically it would be John the Baptist, not Zechariah. So he has to be talking canonically, which the last canonical book would be 2nd Chronicles, which the last martyred prophet would have been Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada. And if you don't believe that, then you got to figure out who this Zechariah is, because even chronologically in the Hebrew Bible, it wouldn't have been Zechariah. So that's why he's talking canonically, which...
yeah, of course, he's assuming that it's chronologically first and last.
Wow. Yeah.
Which he hasn't demonstrated.
And he wouldn't be able to demonstrate that. There'd be no way to demonstrate that.
No, I'm just going to skip this.
No, guys, the problem is because, just imagine this whole scenario there. Jesus arguing with the Pharisees, and now, are you talking about chronological or canonical order? I'm not sure right now, right? Like, hey, but John the Baptist was the one who was murdered last. Why are you mentioning Zechariah, the son of Berechiah? Oh, you mean canonically? Oh, I get it. That's.
And just to be clear, as you know, David and Gary and AB, as you all know, EWTN, Father Pacwa, none of these individuals endorse a shorter Protestant canon. None of them endorse it. None of them believe that it was closed with a canon matching that of Protestantism in terms of the Old Testament prior to the time of Christ. None of the sources he brings up believe that at all. Let us just say, for the sake of argument, that they actually did truly say this. Let's just say that they truly said that and they truly made this mistake. Do they believe that prior to the time of Christ, that there is a closed canon of the Old Testament that resembles that of Protestantism? And if none of them believe that, then his whole case miserably falls apart. None of them believe that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
why?
Oh.
Sorry, gonna finish that. Why not John the Baptist? Well, because probably the Pharisees didn't even know that John the Baptist was murdered. What does John the Baptist have to do with the Pharisees? He was beheaded in Macarius, in Herod's palace, that was completely in a remote place to Jerusalem. That has nothing to do with the Pharisees. Jesus is talking to the Pharisees. Why would he bring up John the Baptist? It doesn't make sense.
No.
Right? I mean, just common sense. You don't have to, try hard, chronological order, canonical order, which order, how does it make sense? Well, it makes sense for the Pharisees because they are not aware that John the Baptist died. Why would they care? If he died miles and miles away from Jerusalem, they didn't care about John the Baptist. Jesus was pointing out the Zechariah whom the Pharisees killed. That's the point. That's why it's so obvious.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could even make it even stronger. Let's just say the Jews. I think that the blood guilt that's upon the Jews because their ancestors killed the prophets. So now they have to fill up what their ancestors measured out. Now, here's the question. Who killed John the Baptist? Was it a Jew? Herod did. What was Herod?
Right.
He was an Edomite.
Yep.
The enemies of Israel are Edomites.
Right.
So do they have the blood guilt of the Edomites that shed righteous blood?
Yeah, that's a good
I mean,
point.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
doesn't
think
even
of
make
that.
sense.
No.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? In all fairness to you, AB, when shots are being fired and everything, it's easy after the fact to sit back and say, hey, that doesn't make any sense. When with Steve, I mean, you're probably the whole debate you're sitting back saying, hey, none of this makes any sense. Because that's what I was doing. I was like, this just, am I crazy?
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't.
And I want to
make
give a
any
shout out
sense.
to St. Francis Baby Toe. You're right. Mother Angelica would have smacked him upside the head. You're right about that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they're ripping EWTN completely out of context. Completely out of context.
Okay, let's go to the next question. If you know, does anybody else have comments?
I've got nothing to add. Audience, if you all have any comments or any questions, don't hesitate to send them in. We'll be tackling your questions too. Okay, we've got. Okay, that looks like a good one.
Me rejecting your position and many of your arguments. So I don't know who wants to go on that one.
I'll take it because I don't know if it's for me or for AB.
They didn't say who it was.
Yeah, because a lot of these Protestant scholars actually have disagree with me and disagree with AB. And again, as I mentioned with MacDonald believes that the Sadducees only embrace the 5 books of Moses. And we know from the New Testament and writings from Jewish antiquity, they embrace more than just these 5 books. And this is part of the reason why, as I mentioned, that this belief that the Jews didn't have a settled canon goes all the way back to the 3rd century. And it's unfortunately, this falsehood was passed down through the early church up to the present age. But I would say if you have my book, Why Protestant Bibles Are Smaller, I quote some of these people like MacDonald, Gallagher, and others.
Misquote.
Okay.
Misquote. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, Steve in his book argues that the Sadducees embraced the law of Moses.
Wow.
I mean, even Trent Horn pointed him out the same thing in his debate with Steve. That why are you arguing that the Sadducees had a larger canon if you yourself say that they had a shorter canon in your book?
It's true. I took a picture of it because I couldn't, I just wanted it in case I thought I went crazy. So
Wow. Wow. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why let facts spoil a good argument?
No, you shouldn't. You don't let. Why would you let them get in the way of a good argument? Yeah.
And what does that have to do with the fact that these scholars are completely against this whole thesis?
Yeah.
He didn't really answer it. He just said, well, they're wrong on this point, so they must be wrong on everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, he says that they're against AB. Well, some things maybe, but that doesn't get him out of the
AB?
The dilemma that he's
You
in.
get the last word in this one?
Well, after reading some of these scholars, I don't agree with everything they say, but I do see people like MacDonald who actually follows the data, and he doesn't. He's not dissuaded by his perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. The next one is let's see. So, question for AB. Can you give examples of how Josephus debunks Steve's closed canon?
Oh, so
Well, I would say the lack of for AB. Josephus debunks Steve's closed canon. Well, he doesn't give the names of the books. He doesn't. It's what he doesn't say, not what he says. So what that does is it necessitates that we conject what he's saying. And that's why the scholars themselves, I have a list of them right here, they all come up with different lists. So if they don't know the books that are going into it, and some have books that others don't have, So it's the absence of the evidence really that debunks the closed canon argument.
Okay, and Steve, did you get the last part on this one?
Yeah, just as a reminder, I've said in my opening statement and throughout this debate, this isn't about what books were belonged in the settled canon, just that the Jews themselves did have a settled canon. So Josephus does not debunk this. He actually tells us that no Jew, and he was writing history of the Jews, that no Jew had bothered to take away any of these books. And he says there's only 22 books. He says the time period they were written from Moses to the death of Artaxerxes, which would have been before 400 BC. And then there's some other things that I had mentioned, in my opening as well. So no, he doesn't debunk at all, what I've said. He's actually affirming a settled canon, which Peter does when he compares all Paul's letters to the rest or the remainder of the scriptures, and the prologue to Sirach, which talks about the law, the prophets, and the rest of the books. And we don't have to know what those are to know there's a settled canon.
How do you even begin to try to extrapolate? I mean, he goes from Josephus to St. Peter. Each of these arguments is just ridiculous, so bad. There's nothing even making sense in his argument in Josephus. And then in St. Peter, where on earth do you get the idea that he's laying out the parameters of the canon? Where do you get that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what AB said. AB, I don't know how by God's grace, you were so charitable to him.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was thinking about how I would respond, and it definitely wouldn't be a very Christian way to respond.
Right. I got a little bit of a headache hearing this. Yeah.
Lots of rosaries.
So is he saying that all he has to do is they could prove that they have a closed fixed canon, but it could be the wrong canon, but it's closed and fixed, and that's
right.
Good enough to win the debate.
I think I think it got to that point to where he's pretty much saying that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened is when he said that in his opening statement, but then I grilled him as to, okay, so what are these books that Josephus is talking about? And I can't speak to this. I'd have to look at the context. And I think that just put him in a really bad position. So he had to just, he had to double down in this position that I don't have to know what the books are, just that there was a closed canon, which, is, we're really not talking about a canon here. We're talking about an enumeration. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Just let's go with how Christie argues. He said, well, but those books, up till Artaxerxes are accepted by all Jews. He says, yeah, that's what he emphasizes. Does that necessarily mean that it's a closed canon? So, for example, when Irenaeus says we have only 4 gospels, does that mean he is insinuating a closed canon?
No.
No.
Not at all. No.
No, you're right. History was continued to be written up to that time. It just didn't have that exact, the lineage of prophecy.
Yeah, but even if you go with the argument that only these books are agreed upon everybody, that doesn't follow that means a closed canon.
It doesn't entail.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem. Equivocations again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently all the Jews that held 2 books of Ezekiel and was that letter from the Syrian.
But boy, did he run from that one. Boy, he ran from the 2 letters of Ezekiel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was
and even if as he said, well, we don't know if it's 2 parts of Ezekiel, of Ezekiel's one book. Well, what does that do for the enumeration? Either which way.
Yeah.
Either which way, that creates an issue for the enumeration. So I mean, he wasn't able to keep a coherent argument, and I think it got to the point where it devolved from. He realized he couldn't make an argument for the Protestant canon, So now it's a matter of there just being a closed canon. Who knows what it is? It could have all these other kinds of books in there, maybe not matching that of Protestantism. I mean, the guy's all over the map. He's all over the map.
Yeah. Okay.
But 22, William. 22.
22. Oh yeah, 22.
Bingo
yeah.
card.
Yeah, that's the bingo
There we
card.
go.
Where's Tony? Where's Tony, the bingo card guy, man?
Yep. Yeah, you gotta play bingo that night.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Okay. Here's the next one.
Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. It doesn't
Hold on
follow
a
that
second.
he's
Sorry about
affirming
that.
that it is.
So
And there's some other things that I had mentioned, in my opening as well. So no, he doesn't debunk at all, what I've said. He's actually affirming a settled canon, which Peter does when he compares all Paul's letters to the rest or the remainder of the scriptures, and the prologue to Sirach, which talks about the law, the prophets, and the rest of the books. And we don't have to know what those are to know there's a settled canon.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, Lena Molina, this is actually for you,
Yeah,
Steve.
I got a
This says-
question. Awesome.
Steve, operating within Sola Scriptura, what is the justification for Jesus celebrating Hanukkah in John 10:22-23, without the establishment of Hanukkah in 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 36-59, 2 Maccabees, chapter 10, verse 1-8?
Yeah, this is a question on Sola Scriptura, which is going beyond the parameters of this debate, but I will answer it, since the question was asked. Just because Jesus celebrated Hanukkah, it doesn't follow that he's affirming that it is a canonical book. I actually talk about this in my book, because the God had established certain major holidays like the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Passover and others that the Jews were to follow. He doesn't do this with Hanukkah. Now, Hanukkah is mentioned in the books of Maccabees, but by him celebrating it, this would be no different than some Christians celebrating Advent or celebrating Lent. These are not commands. These were things that they could do. The Christians are able to do because of their particular traditions. Jews celebrated this as a minor holiday, not as a major holiday commanded by God. So he's not affirming this as scripture. Plus, the New Testament and even Jesus never quotes from the book of First Maccabees or Second Maccabees with phrases like "it is written." Otherwise, we would have to include a lot of other books that are not in Catholic Bibles.
Okay, and AB, you get the last word on this one. If you want to add anything to this.
It's really a difficult question to answer. We would have to know how Jesus understood Hanukkah and where he got that notion from. Perhaps there's something that's not written in the New Testament, that was told to Jesus, and Jesus, being the second person of Trinity, would have known about Hanukkah. But it is still a good. It's still a good question, and it's still good food for thought. So, thank you.
Okay.
Now let me give my thoughts on that, and I think that Christie, he's right on this point that Hanukkah was a minor festival, but that doesn't take away its importance. Why? The question is why Hanukkah would be considered a minor festival, and that doesn't take away from Hanukkah's great importance for the Jews. It was very important. The reason Hanukkah would be constituted a minor festival is because it's not one of the great three feasts that you find commemorated in the Torah. That's the only reason. The ones you find commemorated in the Torah, you find Passover. You find Passover, you have weeks, you have the tabernacles. So in that sense, right, it's minor because it is a post-Mosaic feast. Nobody's denying that. It doesn't take away its importance because it was important. It is commemorating the purification and the rededication of the temple. It was important. So even though it was a minor festival, it was still an important one. So I think that that's kind of downplaying its importance. And the Gospel of St. John puts Jesus there during that feast of the dedication, during Hanukkah. So that's pretty significant. That is significant. The other thing that we heard from him, which is a bad argument, was, well, and you hear this very often, and I wish Protestants would be smarter, and some are smarter to know better to make this argument where they'll say, well, Jesus never even formally quotes from the Maccabean books. But that proves very little. What does that even matter? Does Jesus formally quote every book of the Protestant proto-canon? And if he doesn't do so, then what do we do with that? Are there clear formal quotations by Jesus from every single proto-canonical book? There clearly aren't. We know that there aren't. So the argument is a miserable one. So even if we grant him, well, Jesus didn't formally quote from first or second Maccabees, does that mean he rejected the Maccabees? No, it doesn't. Not any more than it would mean that he rejects these other books that he doesn't formally quote from. I don't think there's a formal quotation from Obadiah or Nahum or Zephaniah. I don't think there's formal quotations from those. Does that mean he rejected them? This is a logic you got to adopt from the school of Christie. It's terrible. It's really bad, because if that particular criterion, if that was what would establish non-canonicity, then a lot of books are going to be eliminated from the Bible itself, because proto-canonical books, not all of them are formally quoted. So I think it's a pretty bad argument. Gentlemen, go ahead. I've talked too long.
Right.
And Ari too.
I agree, because we'd also have to add Jude,
Right.
because it did use the word prophesied, and that's not to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
And I did say that earlier in the debate, just to sort of disarm that point. Yeah, I agree with William.
Anybody else? Nope.
I got
Okay.
nothing to add to that. Go ahead.
Okay, let's
We
continue.
had our debate. As I mentioned in my closing, with all due respect, AB just kept saying, "Well, no, I don't agree with this." But so he's actually disagreeing with his own Catholic scholarship, on their attestation of a settled threefold division.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. He did the footnote thing. Sorry.
It is still a good.
I
It's
missed that
still
part.
a good question, and it's still good food for thought. So, thank you.
Okay. All right. Now the next question is from HHS. It says, question for AB. Does the Ignatius Study Bible have I don't know how to pronounce that, Nihi Obstat and Imprimatur? If so, would mispresenting
you are,
history
Ari.
be a moral error?
Got it.
I'm not here to speak about moral errors, but I don't have the Ignatius Study Bible. I have the Dedicated Bible and a bunch of others. If you want
I
to
do.
talk, yeah, if you want to go on theological escapades, HHS, this is not the time to do it, my friend.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. Steve, do you have anything to add to this super chat question?
Honestly, I'm not as smart as HHS, because I couldn't tell you what nihil obstra imprimatur actually means. Maybe
Same
we
thing
can,
with me, bro.
maybe while I'm doing this, Ari, you can look on ChatGPT or something, or HHS, and to see
If
what it
somebody
means.
could put it in the live chat, that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
much easier.
So
Yeah, nihil
I mean-
obstat means there's no obstacle to printing, and imprimatur means it's a proof for printing.
I mean, wasn't this guy a former Catholic?
Well, yeah, I
mean-
mean, he was an altar boy, wasn't he?
I mean, he's bragged about being a former Catholic. He doesn't know what a nihil obstat and imprimatur are. I mean,
Or Latin?
This is basic. This is 101 in apologetics, and he doesn't know it. I mean, he's claimed over and over, "I'm a former Catholic," and what have you. Did you practice your faith? You don't even know the basics of it, of what Catholics believe. This is outlandish.
I don't even
never
know
heard
what
this.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what that means.
But you're not an apologist. You're excused. You're not an apologist. How long has he been doing this, Ari? He's written books, and he's been doing this for a long time.
I mean,
So there's
I
an
don't know.
enormous difference.
I mean,
I can guarantee you,
Are
anyone
were
in
you an altar
apologetics-
server?
There you go, Ari. Yeah.
huh?
Were you ever an altar server?
Not necessarily an altar server, but I did help out at the mass, or at least
Oh,
in
there
my
you go.
church. I did,
See,
so.
then you wouldn't have to know that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like we don't need to go based off of the knowing the definitions, unless he claims to know the definitions of it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to
If you
get at.
claim to have been an educated Catholic, yes, you do. There's no way around it. If you claim to have been a Catholic that was educated in the faith, which he does make that claim many times over, and he's made it for years, these are basic terms, and he doesn't know them. So you get an excuse because you don't do apologetics. He's been doing it for a while, and he's made these claims for years, and he doesn't know what they are.
And he's claiming the historic church is fundamentally wrong and that he got it right because he read his Bible. You think he would know a few things like nihil obstat and imprimatur is, you know?
You figured he'd know them 100%, no doubt about it. But what's the point of that? I'm just curious. Does the Ignatius Study Bible have a nihil obstat and imprimatur?
Yeah, didn't he cite it
Canon-related?
maybe for the threefold division or something like that?
What?
He did. So what he was getting at is that it would, if they did have that, if the Ignatius Study Bible does have that, wouldn't it be misrepresenting? So it's like a got you question. And that's why I didn't bite and I gave him the ugly response that he deserved.
So I'm rather certain he would have been misrepresenting the Ignatius Study Bible as well. This is the issue with these guys, just like HHS, who one time he quoted partially to a commentary in the Book of Revelation on Mariology and left the complete rest of the context completely out. Are these guys in this for the truth or in it for gotcha moments?
Yeah,
I'm starting to wonder. This is really low tier, low level. I'm beginning to guess that they're just not in it for the truth. They're just in it for gotcha moments. There's no way on earth the Ignatius Study Bible is going to promote anything that Christie believes on this, not even remotely.
and besides that, it has nothing to do with errors. The nihil obstat and imprimatur means that there's nothing in it contrary to the faith. It's not an endorsement that everything is correct or that even the censor agrees with the positions.
Yep.
It doesn't say there's no errors in it. It doesn't say anything like that. It just says that what's in here is not contrary to the faith.
100%.
Or at least it can't be interpreted as contrary to the faith. Yeah, so it's a dumb. So you were right, AB. That was, and the other thing too is once I would have called him out on the butchering McDonald, and then every time he quotes something, I would refuse to answer it because I'd have to look it up in context because I can't trust the word you say.
Especially when he ripped McDonald, he completely misrepresented McDonald.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And you could add the other stuff like David pointed out with the Catholic Encyclopedia and all the other junk.
Well, anyways, I just kind of quickly mention this. I actually won this in a contest from Cap Catholic, which is a Catholic YouTube channel. I entered and I actually won this. So shout out to them because it actually helped me prepare for this debate. But as I mentioned,
so he doesn't purchase primary source material. He like if he wins it. Like if you see all the books behind me, these are Protestant books that I bought.
Yeah.
Because I want to find out what they say, you know.
Yep.
He doesn't even buy a Catholic Bible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
See, now
no
I'm
doubt.
triggered. AB, your debate triggered me. Now I'm triggered.
Yeah.
Gary, just please don't be meaner than I am. Okay.
Well, I'll try.
You're too mean.
That's hard.
Dr. David is too mean, man. He's a meanie of them all, man.
That's right.
Exactly.
mentioned it's about the Catholic Ignatius Study Bible, that and the other Bible translations I mentioned, they all agree with me that this threefold division is what Jesus is talking about and what the prologue to the book of Sirach is talking about. And when we had our debate, as I mentioned in my closing, with all due respect, AB just kept saying, well, no, I don't agree with it.
Hold on. So all these Catholic Bibles are saying there was a closed fixed canon that's identical to the Protestant canon. And the Catholic Church is therefore wrong on the canon. Is that what he's saying?
In a nutshell.
Oh, man.
But so he's actually disagreeing with his own Catholic scholarship, on their attestation of a settled threefold division.
Again, so what? Threefold division. That doesn't exclude or that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything at all.
It doesn't mean anything. I mean, deuterocanonical books are included in threefold divisions, and other books like Missing Esther and things like that. That's also in the threefold division. Does that mean it's closed? I mean, ay. Sorry, guys. Anybody want to add to that?
Don't be a meanie, Gary. Come on, you're scaring people. I've never seen you crash out. I've never seen Gary crash out before, and I kept during the debate. Like once we got like the break and stuff, I kept going back to the Apocrypha Apocalypse page, and I kept cracking up at Gary's reactions. I couldn't stop laughing. There was one point where he was just like,
you were doing that during the debate, Ari?
No,
Oh,
when we had the break.
okay.
When we had the break.
Oh, I gotcha.
Jeez,
Okay.
listen.
All right.
And I saw Gary staring up at the ceiling, and I just heard him give a dramatic sigh, like he was so disappointed. And I started laughing, and I even commented, "Why does Gary look tortured?" God bless Gary. God bless.
Oh my goodness, man! We got a happy poop in the that Bronca said. I gotta tell you, man, Bronca's such a hater, man.
I don't know why you think that's funny.
Oh man! Hello, AB, Dr. David, and Gary. Look at me, man. Diet Coke.
You have a different sense of humor.
This guy's a hater, man. I gotta say, man. I love it, man. You're a hater, Bronca, but I'm gonna get you, man. I'm gonna learn how to use AI from Daniel, and I'm gonna get you, man. I got an image coming soon, man. I got something coming soon, man. Don't worry, man.
That's my favorite photo.
Don't worry, man.
He made Dr. David and Gary look good.
Oh man.
You know what I love? I love the one where AB's chasing. Yeah, there you go. I love the one where AB's chasing Steve. That one cracks me up every time. Every time. That one was funny. And I didn't want to laugh, but I thought it was hilarious.
Now, I'll say this, Gary. I lost track of the amount of times I got triggered during the debate, too, particularly with the bad arguments and the lies, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dr. Boyd was he was self-medicating.
Boyce.
I'm sorry. I always say Boyd.
You're so triggered you got his last name wrong.
Yeah, I know. I can't even think straight. Shame on me.
Oh, man. I love it, man. I love it. Dr. Boyce, don't listen in, man. Don't listen in, man. We love you, man. Just a little bit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was self-medicating.
Move on to the next super chat question. It says, question by SoCal Preston. Steve, can you give examples of Josephus's work point to an open canon during his time?
Actually, to an open canon? No, I can't give any examples of Josephus pointing to an open canon. I can give you the example from against Appian about a closed canon for the reasons I said during the debate, that he's saying that no Jew, and he's talking about the past as a historian, had added or taken away from these 22 books, and he mentions the time period from Moses to the death of Artaxerxes, which would end at 400 BC, which are all the books of the Hebrew Bible. This is something, again, that the prologue of Sirach affirms by the law of the prophets, and the rest of the books. Peter affirms this by the rest of the books referring to the Old Testament. So, no, Josephus does not point to an open canon, only a closed one.
Okay. Let's see.
I think AB can respond.
Yeah. I almost forgot it. Do you have anything to add to this?
I think Josephus using deuterocanonical works is telling. That's all I would say, because this is really the inverse of the question we had before. So it's like it's already been answered.
Yeah.
Okay. Next super chat. It doesn't say who it's for, but why don't we have records of any apocryphal books being debated by Jews like we do with books like Esther or Song of Solomon? Anybody want to take a shot at that one? Because it doesn't say exactly who it's for.
I think this might be for AB, because this is my friend Jeff from Ogoy for Jesus.
Okay.
I don't have any records of any apocryphal books being debated by Jews like we do books Esther or Song of Solomon. Well, we do. I showed you the slide that you could, and I showed you the
Can we pause for a
I
second?
wish I could
Sorry.
bring it back up, but you're
I misunderstood that that question completely.
Mhm.
The apocryphal books is what he's asking for. So it's I brought up all the Talmudic literature, and I thought that's what he was alluding to. So, but
Mhm.
so my answer was lackluster here, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's outside the perimeters of the debate too. I mean, you don't have to demonstrate anything with the Deuterocanon. You could just all you have to show is that there wasn't a closed fixed canon.
Right.
And I would
Yeah.
say like Sirach was certainly one in the
Oh, yeah.
discussions.
There's no doubt. Hmm.
Yeah, but you'd have to have those up and ready to roll. But
Yeah. I mean,
and again,
it's
it's
even
outside
if
the
you don't,
perimeter of the
yeah.
debate. So how can you prepare for something like that, right?
Yeah, it's outside the parameters of the debate either which way. Yeah.
there's quite a bit. We have Song of Songs, we have Ecclesiastes, so on and so forth. I believe there's 6 books that were disputed. So we certainly do. So the premise of the question is flawed.
Okay.
Okay, I think what Jeff is asking is about apocryphal books, meaning deuterocanonical books, not the books of the Hebrew Bible. And the answer is because the Jews from antiquity never accepted these books as scripture because these are books.
Wait, it's Steve's turn again?
I didn't even notice that.
So he corrects AB and then has this monologue where he like reiterates what he just said.
I didn't even notice that till right now. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Books that were not laid up in the temple by the Sadducees. And this is how we know the Sadducees only embraced the 5 books of Moses. They knew these books were scripture. They didn't accept them. Josephus didn't accept them as scripture. He might have cited from some of these books, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he believes that they were scripture. But even if he did, again, he's writing history of the time period that's relevant to the parameters of our debate. But it is telling the fact that they don't debate these books. Why? Because they never accepted these books as scripture like they did the books of the Hebrew Bible.
Well, that was a great response, AB.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he totally stole that. That's at that point I probably would have like kicked him from the debate.
Do you respond to that, AB? Do you respond to that?
I don't think I do. I think I just let it go.
Yeah. I mean, well, what are you going to do? You know? But the thing is with Steve, you can't be nice to him. You got to jump in and because he'll run like that.
He will abuse. Yeah.
He's losing the debate, so he's got to get every shot he can. He did
miserably, so he's trying to get every single shot he can. He did miserably, so yeah, I didn't even know. I have not seen this. This is the first time that I'm seeing the Q&A. Which really honestly, for people that may be wondering, the debate is over. Now you're dealing with a question and answer, but he's trying to give the perception as if he, won the debate by trying to get any extra points in that he can.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I think you both were able to answer that one. The next one is for Steve. Who or what are your primary sources, Steve? This comes from.
Well, obviously my primary source is the New Testament of Jesus. And again, when he says from Abel to Zechariah, I am yet to find a Catholic who to explain to me who this Zechariah is, since all the other options fail, because John the Baptist would be the last martyred prophet from the Old Testament era, affirmed by EWTN. So he's got to be talking canonically, because he talks about the shedding blood of all the prophets from Abel to Zechariah. So that's my primary source. And I would also recommend, like I mentioned, the Old Testament Canon of the New Testament Church by Roger Beckwith. Canon, I think it's called the Biblical Canon by Lee Martin McDonald, has some good things, but he does make some mistakes, like saying that the book of Revelation was not included into the book of Carthage.
William, did you hear that?
What? Can you put that again? I heard Carthage. Don't tell me he's doing that again. What?
No, he was the one that was going on and on about Revelation not being in Carthage. Remember, he even has that in his book.
Yeah.
And then we corrected him.
We
And now
corrected him.
he's trying to use that against McDonald that he did that he made a
What?
mistake.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah. Here, I'll listen.
Oh my goodness.
We have Ecclesiastes,
Sorry.
so on and so forth. I believe there's
Dial
6
it a little
books
better.
that
But it
Are you
is
kidding
telling the
me?
fact that they don't debate these books. Why? Because
Yeah, that
their
was
options fail because John the Baptist would
oh, come on.
scripture. He might have cited from some of these books, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he believes that they were scripture. But even if he did, again, he's writing history of the time period that's relevant to the parameters of our debate. But it is telling the fact that they don't debate these books. Why? Because they never accepted these books as scripture like they did the books of the Hebrew Bible.
Okay. All right. So I think you both were able to answer that one.
Sorry about that.
The next one is for Steve. Who or what are your primary sources, Steve? This comes from.
Well, obviously, my primary source is the New Testament of Jesus. And again, when he says from Abel to Zechariah, I am yet to find a Catholic who to explain to me who this Zechariah is, since all the other options fail, because John the Baptist would be the last martyred prophet from the Old Testament era, affirmed by EWTN. So he's got to be talking canonically, because he talks about the shedding blood of all the prophets from Abel to Zechariah. So that's my primary source. And I would also recommend, like I mentioned, the Old Testament Canon of the New Testament Church by Roger Beckwith. The canon, I think it's called the Biblical Canon by Lee Martin McDonald, has some good things, but he does make some mistakes, like saying that the book of Revelation was not included into the book of Carthage. And regarding the New Testament, I just want to plug
He
this
made
real
that
quick.
very argument. He made that very argument himself, and we corrected him. We corrected him on that very argument. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he burns the source. That apparently it's not trustworthy, but he's citing it in debate and recommends it. And yeah. Okay.
Apocrypha and used for private use, not public worship in the church. And two of the books that are in miniature codices were Tobit and Bell and the Dragon, which is part of the Greek additions to the book of Daniel. I could go on, but I'm going to stop here.
Okay. AB, do you have anything to add to this, brother?
No, I mean, I could provide my references to know if he really wants to know what they are. Plenty of them here.
If you want to list some, you want to take it as that, we can do that.
Well, I have a couple of, I have the Biblical Canon, Lee Martin McDonald. I have the Formation of the Biblical Canon, Volume 1, by Lee Martin McDonald. I have Steve Christie's book, Why Protestant Bibles Are Smaller.
There you go.
Gary Machuda's book. That's the one. Gary Machuda's book, The Case for the Deuterocanon. Gary Machuda's book, Why Catholic Bibles Are Bigger. Complete History of the Biblical Canon, Greek, East, and Reverend Copson, William Albrecht. I have 15 myths and mistakes and misrepresentations about the Deuterocanon by Gary Machuda, and about 2 full drawerfuls of publications that I can't remember right now.
Okay.
I would also recommend Steve Christie's book, Why Protestant Bibles Are Smaller.
There you go. If you want to learn it, get why the Bible is bigger or better. I think that's Gary's.
Yeah,
and then also do yours, and then boom, there you go.
I actually quote Gary's books, Why Catholic Bibles Are Bigger, and The Case for the Deuterocanon in my book
There
as
you
well.
go.
So
And you butcher him. And you butcher him.
Yeah.
Your arguments are hard.
Yeah, he quotes it.
Yeah.
We know how he
Butcher.
quotes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know how he quotes. He butchers the heck out of them.
Yeah. And then Father Pacwa and other things in his book.
And then I want to give a shout out to Bronca. Thank you so much, my man. And look at that photo.
And I want to pause and give a shout out. I do want to give a shout out to Ari. That was good on Ari. That was a good. I want to say that was a good moderator move on Ari to kind of nudge AB to give a list of sources that was good. AB, I know it's your first debate. You did a tremendous job. My advice to you going forward is take every opportunity when you're given time, every opportunity you jump on it, no matter what. And that was good on Ari in insisting that evened up that particular round. Both were able to give their sources. So tip of the hat there. That was a good moderator.
I wanted to do that because I didn't just want people to just leave with just Steve's sources.
Tip of the hat. That was a good moderator move. I could tell.
Because I didn't just want that. Like I want Protestants to be able to see these are the sources that AB's using and that he's citing. So if they want to take a look at it, they can.
Good move. Remind me to send you a case of diet soda. Good move.
I hate diet soda. I would rather eat a sock. I would rather eat your sock on the air.
All right. Let me send it to you right now. Let me pull it off right now. Hold on.
Wait,
got
not
it
a
right
gym,
here.
not
Got
one
it
of
right
those gyms. Lord have mercy on your soul. If I die, it's your fault.
All right, let's go. Come on. Got to put my sock back on now.
Okay, this is Daniel's.
Cited William was to give him kudos for him validating me, as knowing the topic.
Wait, hold on
6
a second.
7
Hold on.
That photo. Look at that photo that he has. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Daniel, man. Daniel come through, man.
Both Dr. David and Gary, and they're all just hugging each other. So he made a meme out of the guys. But thank you, Bronca, for your support. I appreciate it.
The Book of Carthage.
Let's go.
The Book of Carthage. I heard that. You hear that?
This is just
the
a
Book of
comment.
Carthage.
You don't really have to respond to it. But Daniel says, you have a screenshot of William acknowledging your book. I have 1,000 screenshots of him and Gary repeating you as well.
Oh, Daniel. That was just
unfortunately these
Daniel
I'm
with like
sad to
50
hear
inch
these type
biceps,
of
man.
comments because they're simply just rhetoric used to elicit an emotional response. It's not Christ-like. It doesn't help to advance a conversation anyway. The reason that I cited William was to give him kudos for him validating me, as knowing the topic 6-7 years ago. And that he endorsed my book. And the thing is, William kind of did the same thing last night. He, because Turretin Fan, who he's had 30 debates with, he actually made a pre-recorded video.
Turretin Fan, not you.
Congratulating Turretin on 100 debates. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to extend an olive branch and just say to William, thank you for validating me on my knowledge of the topic and for endorsing my book. It was a genuine thank you to it. So I'm saddened that a comment like this has to come from someone who professes to be a follower of Christ.
So I
sent
a video. I sent a video to Turretin Fan. Go ahead. I sent a video to Turretin Fan because I legitimately believe Turretin Fan debates in good faith, can admit when he's wrong, and he comes up with solid arguments that get you thinking. I sent him a congratulations video because they reached out to me and they invited me to join him on the show, and it was my daughter's birthday. I couldn't join him. But Turretin Fan, I believe, is a man of integrity, and I sent the video. I don't think you're a man of integrity, Steve. I don't. And I didn't endorse your book, and I wouldn't endorse it now. So, but it's weird how you saw me sending that video to Turretin Fan, and he's like, well, I guess in some fantasy land, I'm going to imagine that William also endorsed my book. I didn't endorse your book.
But he read off of a text message. I don't know if it's this segment or the other way, apparently of when you setting him talking about his book. So that is where I just want to, and I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that is what he pointed out. I forgot when it was, but he pointed out
7-8 years ago. And on the show, we dealt with that very clearly. That is not an endorsement. That's an enormous leap. That is a leap from the floor to a massive building.
Do you want to clarify what you meant? Because obviously people.
I've clarified it on the show already. I've already clarified it.
Okay.
I clarified it more than once.
Sorry.
On the show, we've dealt with this many times over. On the show, I said he knows the arguments. Gary, does that sound like an endorsement? He knows the arguments. Did I say I endorse your book? Absolutely not. I said he knows the arguments, and that was about 7-8 years back. I never wrote a review for his book or endorsed his book as a good book on the issue. No, I don't endorse his book. That's a massive leap. Go ahead, guys.
So I'm just curious, William, on your book on the Canon, how many times do you quote his book?
0 times.
Okay.
Don't it? 0. Not even once. Not even once. Zero.
Why you endorsed it? You said it's gold material.
It's yeah. I don't know, man. Apparently, I endorsed it. I should have dealt heavily with this book, then, right?
I'm sure Father Kappas was probably quoting him left and right.
Oh man, tons of it. It just I had to edit that out before we put our book forward. By the way, our book though is endorsed by Dr. Lee Martin McDonald. He did
Nice.
endorse our book in the canon.
Guys,
Yeah.
we
Yeah, but he makes these mistakes though, so you can't really.
He makes all these mistakes, man. Yep.
I'm sorry, David.
no, I just wanted to say we are all undercover Protestants, by the way, because
What?
look, William, you're endorsing his book, right?
Man.
You two guys, Gary and William, you actually believe that Hillel had the same canon as Protestants do.
Man.
So, and I actually affirm that Augustine included that just as great sacred scripture. So I
And Father Pacwa. Father
and
Pacwa.
Yeah.
Father Pacwa,
John
John Martinoni.
Ignatius Study Bible.
yeah,
Jerome
yeah.
Bible commentary.
the
Man, I guess we're all
catechism.
undercover Protestants, man. Oh man.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, but I think most of his
You're
history-
lagging, brother. You're
Yeah.
lagging. Your audio's lagging really bad.
Mine?
Maybe. Yeah, you're lagging. Refresh your screen. I'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back up. All right.
I don't think I commented anyway.
There we go.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, you didn't comment. Okay.
So he'll
No, I
be
just-
on. Meanwhile,
What can you say?
let's see what we got here. Bronca, thank you so much for your support again, brother. It says thank you to both debaters and Ari for moderating. Thank you. And he has a picture. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's of you. Okay. He made
Of
another
me.
meme. Yeah, it's AB chasing you with the. I don't know what he's chasing you
Oh
with.
my
He's chasing you with
goodness,
the
you
book.
put that on the air.
They like making AI photos. He's not actually being disrespectful.
I can't believe that Ari
He's
put
made
that
a
up.
bunch of them of me as well. Embarrassing ones. My head shaped like a Vegemite. I don't know if you heard of the Australian spread, the Vegemite one. Yeah, he made one of me the other day. So
Well, maybe he's chasing me with Gary's Catholic Bibles or bigger book. So
yeah, wait, hold on. I think he actually sent me the photo if I'm not mistaken. So let me see. He actually. Oh, he did. So the book that he's holding, it says closed fixed canon. So AB's holding that and he's chasing you with it. But
So he made a special one just for the debate, huh? That's funny.
I like you. Man.
yeah,
I
he
like
told me he was gonna. He told me that he was going to use. He had a special photo
We got
just for the
about
debate. I think he sent it to me beforehand. I don't
that one,
remember.
right? That one.
Yeah, that one. No one.
I can't believe you brought it up, man. I gotta give it to you, Ari. I can't believe you
I
brought it
mean,
up.
and that's the only because Bronca told me that he wanted me to point out his photos so that
That's
way.
good AI, Ari. Right? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. Yeah.
I like that, man. Close fixed canon. And AB looks pretty upset there, man.
All right.
Oops.
All
Hold
right.
on.
And
We'll
it's-
do
I will be leaving in a couple minutes just because I have a live stream of
Ah, you
I have
got
a
it.
live stream with somebody else that I have to do. But so if I leave, that's why.
Yeah, I need
Oh,
to
yeah, I
get
mean,
going too.
Ari, whenever you have to go, just let us know. You don't have to just leave. Just announce. You can give the audience the final thoughts or whatever if you want right now.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
so
think
you don't just have to rush off, so you can get a final word in.
yeah. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to talk.
Well,
It's because you
know,
never let
share-
me talk.
share
that's
some
why.
Diet Coke. Share some Diet Coke.
Because you
and
never
can
let me
talk.
talk. That's why.
Share some Diet Coke and you're allowed. Go ahead.
Nah. So I think the debate was pretty good. I can see some. And now, if I'm giving constructive criticism, one, obviously, I wish Steve would have stuck to the thesis. And I think in terms of AB, I think he did pretty well for his first time. I do think that he should have held his feet to the fire a little bit more. I would have liked to see that. I think in terms because I watch a lot of debates and I personally I love watching debates and I think they're fun to watch. But I think AB could have held Steve's feet to the fire and I wish he would have kind of pressed him a little bit more on certain things and and whatnot. But I think other than that, I think he did really well because at least he stuck to the thesis of it, and
Yeah.
he wasn't rambling about Jesus
Off topic.
something, I will give props to you, AB. You did really good. Compared to, there are some people that have been debating for a long time and they suck at debating, but I think you aced it. I think you did really good. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just my
Thank you.
personal opinion.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
All right.
that was fun moderating. I just think that that getting this debate, surprisingly, they both made it pretty easy to get this set up and whatnot. But apart from that, I think everything was pretty good, and I'm actually very proud of, I think, how it turned out. I didn't like how I moderated this debate, to be honest, and actually because I'm very critical of myself. I'm very, very critical, and I don't like. There's a lot of things that I watched the debate that I was really disappointed. I think in terms of my moderating and stuff, but really, I think it was just the lack of not knowing the topic very well, because I don't know anything about the Canon. Like I'm not a, like I know nothing, and so therefore I couldn't tell. I even said this, like I thought Steve was gonna get to like his point in terms of cross-examination, because I know you guys expressed that you wish I would have stepped in to do that, but I was like, I don't know the topic, so I couldn't really step in because I didn't know where he was going with it, to be honest. But which at that point, I mean, I'm disappointed at least to myself in that aspect, but I think that also shows me that I need to be more careful about what debates I'm accepting, because
I think there's certain areas where you clearly excelled. That wasn't your fault. Sometimes it's bang bang that happens. It's really fast, and sometimes it can be hard to realize when Christie goes off topic, because he does it, and he kind of does it in a sneaky kind of way. But I think you did well. I never saw the closing, the question and answer, and I'm looking. I can clearly see that you are trying to be as fair as can be. So hey, I mean, you're for just beginning to moderate, you're doing a solid job. So yeah, tip of the hat to
yeah,
you.
I mean, this is only like my second debate that I moderated.
There you
I
go.
mean, my other one was more of a dialogue that I had moderator or hosted, I guess, but that one wasn't really a debate. That was between Alex and a Protestant pastor. But this is my second official debate, so I mean, it did suck to hear that there's some people that obviously didn't like my moderating skills, and I'm like, I'm new, like, and I even told
Yeah,
Steve
you're new.
afterwards. I told Steve before and afterwards, and he could tell you that I actually said this. Like, I'm very new at this whole moderating thing, and I'm learning, and I'm wanting to get more experience into doing that, because I know there's some areas that I still need to improve on in terms of moderating. So, again, I mean, it was a hard watch for me to be able to rewatch the debate, I think, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't go back and I can't change anything. Yeah.
Gary, how long more you have? Gary, David, you guys still have a little bit more? More
I
time?
have to go.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I
I'm going to
gotta run
continue
too.
more. All righty, okay. I should have downloaded the video. All righty. Gary,
I should have downloaded the video.
you mind waiting like 2 minutes so I can download the video?
Yeah,
2
sure.
minutes, and I'll get the video, and
Let me
let me get the video, and we can. It won't take me long to get it. And we can,
Okay. All right, guys. I gotta go.
Hey, Ari, thanks for joining, Ari. You have a good one. Have a good show.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, here we go. All right. In the meantime, yeah, guys. Any particular comments while I get that? I'm getting that video. Don't worry.
Okay, you're at the 2 hour
Oh, wait.
37 minute
William,
mark.
William, how do I remove this live? Because I have another one that I have to do. How do I remove my destination thing?
Has nothing to do with removing it. You just leave it. It ends when it ends. You don't need to remove it.
I know, but I'm going live on my channel again. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter. It'll just be concurrent. It'll be concurrent. It won't cause any conflict.
I'd like to remove it just because
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to remove it, Ari. I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Like, I really don't know. I mean, you're the expert on this. I mean, I have no clue how to remove it. Like, you want me to see if I can remove you?
Like, remove my destination. If you can remove it, I don't know if you're able to do that or not on your end. If not, that's fine.
Oh yeah. I am. Yeah, hold on.
This is the answer to William's dream. He gets to kick Ari.
There you go. It's removed, man. It's removed. Hater. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay, perfect.
Should work. Did that work?
Yep, that worked. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, Ari, be safe. Talk to you soon. Okay.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, guys, let me. Give any thoughts, guys. I'm downloading the debate. I'll have it in about a minute.
Well, I'll do the next question while you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah. Go
that.
for it. Go for it. Yeah.
We're at like the 2-hour 37-minute mark, somewhere around there. Oh no,
Hour 37. Okay.
sorry. Low hanging fruit.
Hmm.
Here we go. This is Daniel question. It's pretty
We
good.
got about how many more super chats do we have? 1, 2, 3, 3 more super chats, and I think that will be the closing of it. All right, next one comes from the brother Daniel again. According to Jerome, did he say in his preface to Tobit that the Jews labeled that book as, I don't know how that word is, Hagophah from SoCal? So I don't know who wants to take that one.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this argument. Jerome actually refuted the book of Tobit. I mean, even though he translated the book into his Vulgate, I mean, he had a job, done. There's some translations that actually refer to this as the Apocrypha instead of Hagiographa. The Jews labeled the book as, and again, anytime you get into the church era, you can find all kinds of people, Jews, Christians, others embracing books that wouldn't even be in Catholic or Protestant Bibles. So I'm familiar with the argument, but he's not affirming that the Jews, specifically prior to the time of Christ, which is a time period that's relevant, embraced the book of Tobit as part of the writings. It would not have been included. It was written too late, for one thing.
Okay. AB, anything you want to say to that, brother?
Every source I looked at, and I look at both Protestant and Catholic sources, as you've seen from my presentation, and that's all I've seen is that he does.
Okay. We'll move on to the next super chat.
Anybody want to give any comments on that? I just realized I think we've been going almost 2 hours, so I mean, maybe we can I guess kind of all give our kind of final thoughts on this. Anybody, you guys, and I guess we could wrap it up after this. I didn't realize we've been going a good amount of time. Yeah, whatever you guys think. Any final thoughts on this particular question?
No, not really. I mean, it says that it's part of the Hagiographa. I think the better quotes are later on where it's excised and it talks about their canon, things like that.
That's an enormous one, and David has done a great job laying that out. And I don't think Christie's ever been able to deal with it, has he, David?
I didn't see him entertaining that, so
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I will have to go. Thanks.
You got it, brother.
for being here.
We're gonna wrap it up here soon because it's we've been going over an hour and 40, so I think it's been a good amount of time either which way. Let's allow AB to give his final thoughts as well, and we'll give final thoughts. David, good seeing you, brother. See you soon, my friend.
And good job, baby.
Thank you, David. My final thoughts are first thoughts of gratitude. Gary, David, William, I've learned more from you than I have any other source, all my sources combined. And, I really wouldn't have learned all of this without you. So,
always there for you, brother. Always.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. I think I did pretty well for my first one, of course.
You did very well.
Thank you. And in retrospect, of course, there are things that I can tighten up, but I just look forward to, continuing and, just improving my practice as I go along. So
you will.
Yeah.
You will.
Thank you.
Gary, any final thoughts?
You did better than some seasoned debaters, so don't put yourself down. You did well.
Oh yeah, you did well.
I mean, the canon is an ocean full of information. It's very hard to be prepared, especially when you have somebody that is operating on a whole different level, and I thought you did great. And that's one that you can put in the win column and move on. And hopefully with some therapy, you'll be able to forget it.
Yep. Yeah. I will go over, Daniel. We will. I know that Gary has to go. I'll go over that. The final question, do you know the timestamp that it comes out? I've got the video right here. So Gary you don't have to worry, Gary. I'm uploading it. I got it.
Okay, I got to run. Take care, everybody.
You take care, brother. No, it isn't that one. Do you know the final one? Let me see.
Was it referring to wisdom?
All right, and
Let me see. Final question. Let me see. By the way, I love that. I love that question, Daniel. I love that, man. All right, let me see. And not that one, right? That wasn't the final one.
No.
No. So, final question in the video. Let me see. Is it? Let me see. Maybe it is. It looks like it is that one. Is it that one, Brother Daniel? It looks like it is that one. And I think it is that one. And if it is, please let me know if it is that one, Daniel. And let me comment on it, and I'll let AB as well. To me, it seems like that became the argument when Christie realized AB had overpowered him and he had no answers. It seems to me like that is the route he began to take, to where it really seems like, to me, it seems like he has no good answer as to what the contents of this supposedly closed canon are. But here's the issue. If you don't even know what the contents are, how are you arguing that there is even a closed canon? It doesn't make any sense at all. To me, it doesn't make any sense. And to me, it seems illogical. I think that Christie knew he was out of his element. I have not heard how he babbles. Let me see how he babbles, and I'll let you give a response, Brother AB. By the way, audience, if you all have questions, even though the team is gone, we'll continue. You guys send in your questions, and we'll continue. Let me see what he says.
Masters in business.
I'm an idiot. Here we go. Let me get back to it.
Even crucified is disagreed. Apocrypha instead of hagiographa. The Jews labeled the book as, I mean, like and again, anytime you get into the church era, you can find all kinds of people, Jews, Christians, others embracing books that wouldn't even be in Catholic or Protestant Bibles. So I'm familiar with the argument, but he's not affirming that the Jews, specifically prior to the time of Christ, which is a time period that's relevant, embraced the Book of Tobit as part of the writings. It would not have been included. It was written too late, for one thing.
Okay. AB, anything you want to say to that, brother?
Every source I looked at, and I look at both Protestant and Catholic sources, as you've seen from my presentation, and that's all I've seen is that he does.
Okay. We'll move on to the next super chat. According to, oh wait, did we? No, we didn't do that one. Okay. According to Jerome, doesn't that mean that the canon was open?
No, this is what's referred to as a non sequitur. Just because the Jews had a closed canon, and we can be affirmed this from the prologue to Syriac and the New Testament and such, it doesn't necessarily follow that just because they don't enumerate the books, it doesn't have a closed canon. For example, the location of where Jesus was buried and even crucified is disagreed upon Christians. There's a traditional there's a traditional site, and then there's alternative sites. But when the writers of the New Testament wrote about his burial, they knew where it was at. So likewise, and I can give other examples in both the Old and New Testament for this. So even like Mount Sinai, you know, the Jews would have known where Mount Sinai is. We think we know where it is, but we don't know 100%. So likewise, it doesn't follow that just because we don't have a list prior to the time of Christ of what the settled canon is, it doesn't follow that the Jews didn't have a settled.
We don't have a list prior to the time of Christ. So it doesn't presuppose that they had, it doesn't mean that they don't have one. So is he unable to identify the list? Is that what he's admitting? I mean, he's so in kind of, wow. Daniel, this has got to be the one where you got him. Right, Daniel? That's a gotcha one if I've ever seen one. It seems to me like he's admitting that you can't even know which books there are. He's only trying to argue now that there is a closed canon. This guy is all over the map. And Dunstocks 4, you hit it right. You hit the nail on the head. So many props are slippery on this topic. That is wild. That is insane. Brother AB, give your thoughts. Go ahead, brother.
Well, see, even his comparisons don't work, his analogies, because, we know that Jesus was crucified and buried, but the opposite is true when it comes to the canon. We have no evidence of that. We have evidence of the burial. We have testimony of the burial, but we have the opposite testimony when it comes to the canon, that it was actually still open from the Talmudic literature, from the Mishnah, and from what we see, the Dead Sea Scrolls. So, his comparisons just, they don't work. They're trying to put a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make sense of his arguments. They're pretty bad. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I'm glad you noticed that, Daniel. I'm glad you asked me to bring that up. That's pretty shocking. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, brother. Wow. Yeah. My goodness. Any more thoughts? Is there another question maybe you want to look up, brother? Or any other thoughts? Any other comments, my friend? Anything you have on your mind, brother?
None that I could think of. I think we covered quite a bit, and
Gotcha.
we got we got to see the essence of the debate just in the Q&A. So
yeah, I agree 100%, brother. I do want to congratulate you again on a good job, on a solid job. Keep doing it. You're only going to improve. Definitely keep doing it. Keep diving in. Keep debating, my friend. And this was great. This is great having you on, brother. We got to do it more often. We got to do it more, my friend.
Absolutely, William. Pleasure is mine.
Hey, AB, God bless you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
God bless.
Everybody, audience, you all, if one of our moderators can do us an enormous favor, post a link to AB's channel. Please do so. Drop the link to his channel. Guys, go over there, subscribe. He's going to be putting out more content, guys. Great content that he's got. Solid content. Everybody, God bless you guys. We'll be back again in a few hours. Yes, guys, I don't rest. A little bit of rest. It's rest, a little bit of food, and then we're back. See you guys in a moment, everybody. God bless you. You'll take care.
Ecclesia viventis Dei, columna et firmamentum, veritatis fundamentum, stat in aeternum. Apostolis et Seppinus, Patris Sanctus, Columnae firmamentum veritatis